Hi everyone, Petrik here. In today's video, I'll be talking about the books that I finished in the past 2 months. Honestly, it's not a lot of books. I managed to finish only 3 novels and also a lot of manga volumes because they were just so easier to read. But at the same time, I think this is actually, especially in the month of September, it actually provided one of the greatest reading experience for me, because in that month, I managed to find the third 5-star books of the year 2025 for me. That's sad and also awesome because throughout the entire year, I only managed to find 3 new 5-star books, and I don't know whether I can find another one in the month of December. Let's see whether that happens or not. And also, I miss those days where I can constantly find new 5-star books and also read a lot of books. Usually per year, I can read and review 100 novels. This year, I will be lucky if I manage to finish 40 novels. But you know what? It is what it is. Life keeps getting busier and busier. Life keeps forcing us cruel choices, according to, well, where did they come from? Oh, from Expedition 33. But anyway, reading remains one of the most joyful experience for me. It is one of my biggest hobby ever since I was a kid. And before I start talking about the books that I finished in the past 2 months, one of the things that makes reading even more enjoyable and comfortable for me is actually, well, a good reading chair. And this is why, before I talk about the books that I finished in the past 2 months, I want to briefly spotlight today's sponsor first, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot is a company that seeks to redefine your living spaces through innovative, adjustable, and flexible furniture solutions. To achieve their vision of new working, new living, they specialize in creating products for home office, living room, bedrooms, and beyond. And one of their best-selling products is the swivel rocker recliner Lotus, and I cannot recommend this reading chair enough. The goal of the chair is for it to become a sustainable support for your day at all times. It has the right elements for reading, working, or even a quick nap, as you can easily lean back into the softness of the cushion. The backrest is generously padded with eco-conscious PP cotton to provide lasting comfort. It also has spacious seating, thanks to the wide seat and low-profile armrest. I know it's definitely enough for me to read together with Chocoboy. Additionally, we can control the recliner chair at our command. No effort needed. Built-in charging ports to keep your devices ready are also available. And there is a hidden compartment to keep your essentials, like books, organized and easy to reach. If you are in need of a great reading chair, then make sure to check out the link in the description down below to check out the swivel rocker recliner Lotus. And I want to say thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video. But now, let's talk about all the books that I finished in the past 2 months. First, let's start with the banger, which is Shadows Upon Time by Christopher Ruocchio. This is the 7th and the final book in the Sun Eater series, one of the greatest series of all time, and also one of the 2 greatest sci-fi series of all time for me, the other being Red Rising Saga by Pierce Brown. And obviously, this is the third 5-star books of the year for me. Honestly, the stuff that Christopher Ruocchio has achieved in this book is absolutely astounding. It is awesome. This book is about 380,000 words long, so that's about the size of The Way of Kings. And Ruocchio managed to finish the 7 books, 7 main novels, plus many other novellas and short stories in a relatively short amount of time. And as I said, this book is 380,000 words long. That's about 100,000 words longer than the previous biggest books in the series, which was Demon in White and also Disquiet Gods. So this one is about 100,000 words longer. Now, whether that page count is worth the pages or not, that's up to you readers to decide. But there are endings, and this is one of them. Shadows Upon Time is the final book in the tale of Heijion Maro, and I believe this tale by him will be remembered for many years to come. And we are right now is in this exact moment when the book has been published and completed. And I think it is a moment to remember. I treasure the Sun Eater series. I have wanted to read a series, a sci-fi series as epic and expansive as this series, and I'm really glad that Christopher Ruocchio took his time to write this awesome set of books. But to put it simply, Shadows Upon Time, in my opinion, in the 7 main books, it is one of the best ones. I'm not sure whether this will be in my number 1 spot as the best installment for the Sun Eater. I think it could be Demon in White, or maybe it could be Kingdoms of Death. But you know what? I think my answer will constantly change between these three, Shadows Upon Time included, because I just love these three books very much. So it all depends on my reading mood and preference. But one of the things that I think Christopher Ruocchio has actually nailed really well is how he implements everything that he has learned throughout his career as far as storytelling goes and put it into Shadows Upon Time, into this 380,000 words long tome. And starting with the flashback portion, I remember back then during the release of Howling Dark, well, I'm not there during the release, but when I was reading Howling Dark, I do not think the transition from Empire of Silence to Howling Dark was done as good as I hope. And I think many people kind of agree with me on that front. And this one, well, it is a long flashback. It's about 20% of the novel. So basically the first part of Shadows Upon Time is the flashback portion. It is to tell what happened between Disquiet Gods and also Shadows Upon Time. And the way Christopher Ruocchio convey this storytelling is through multiple perspectives that is for the first time happened in the series. It has never happened before. Usually it happened only from the perspective of Hadrian Marlowe himself. Well, the novellas have other POV characters, but I'm talking about the main novels only. And this time we have the perspective of the other characters in the series. Whoever they are, well, you have to read and find out, but they are in the first part of the book. And why did I mention the first part? Well, the thing that Christopher Ruocchio done really well in the past, I believe this is introduced for the first time in Demon in White, is the separation and division into 5 parts into one book. This makes the entire tome, well, the pacing incredible. Like there are multiple subgenres of books being put into one installment of Sun Eater, and Christopher Ruocchio tells them continuously and blend them seamlessly. So it is like 5 connecting short novels in one tome. And this is being replicated again in Shadows Upon Time. It was done amazingly in Demon in White, in Kingdoms of Death, and the other books in the series. And it is still the same in Shadows Upon Time. The second part, the Battle of Danu, and then the third part, the super insane political intrigue, deadly political intrigue. It is incredible how much I hate this one particular character. If you have read this book, you will know who I'm talking about. And then, of course, the fourth part, the moment of the Sun Eater, and finally, the fifth and final part, which is the concluding part of Sun Eater. Not only Shadows Upon Time, but of the Sun Eater. And my God, what a story, what a life Hadrian Marlowe has led. I don't know whether this will become a mixed opinion or not, Shadows Upon Time, but I think many people who love this series will end up loving Shadows Upon Time. Obviously, if you have been following my channel, then you know I have posted a full spoiler-free review of Shadows Upon Time on my YouTube channel. So if you want to know my full thoughts about this book, then you can check out that video. But for now, I will just end this part by saying that I absolutely love the Sun Eater series, and I'm excited to read the next series from Christopher Ruocchio, which coincidentally is actually an epic fantasy novel. And it is a Greek-inspired epic fantasy novel. I think the first book is The Godstained House. It is the first book in the series called the Doom Song Saga, and I look forward to reading that in the year 2027. But bravo to Christopher Ruocchio for this achievement, for concluding the Sun Eater series. And guess what? Shadows Upon Time was actually the only book that I finished in the month of September because I was busy, super busy, preparing for the birth of my son. And of course, with a newborn, as many of you who are parents will know, it is fulfilling, rewarding, but at the same time, it is also extremely exhausting. I'm in that moment. I'm in that time period right now, and that's why I can barely record and post videos unless he's asleep, like right now, basically. But yeah, because of that, I only managed to finish Shadows Upon Time in the month of September, and then in the month of October, I finished 2 books. Those 2 books are Daughter of Crows by Mark Lawrence and also Half the World by Joe Abercrombie. So for Daughter of Crows, this is the first book in the Kindness Academy, or the Academy of Kindness trilogy. This is going to be released for the first time next year in March or April 2026. It is partly why I haven't written or posted a full spoiler-free review of this book, because many people, well, apparently quite a lot of people say that I must not post a review too far from the release date. So that's what I'm doing. I probably will post a review in the month of January, maybe. But anyway, I have read all the first books written by Mark Lawrence. All of his first books in his miniseries, I have read them all, and I do think that Daughter of Crows is the closest one to Red Sister in the terms, not only content, but in terms of quality as well. I like to think that Red Sister is the best book written by Mark Lawrence to date. I haven't finished reading the Library trilogy though, but as far as the first book of a series goes, from the ones that I have read by Mark Lawrence, this is the closest one to Red Sister. I love The Daughter of Crows. It is dark, it is violent, it is also emotional, and it is filled with some of Mark Lawrence's best writing so far. I highlighted a lot of passages, and Rue, the main character, reminded me of Nona Grey, but think of it like a more brutal and violent and ruthless version. She's the definition of rage, wrathful, and filled with so much vengeance towards events that have happened in her past. It is dark. It is partly Greek inspired, but at the same time, there are touches of dark fairy tales in some of the time frames and also in the perspective being told in Daughter of Crows. Again, I do not want to spoil your experience here, so I have to be careful with the words that I'm saying. But of course, if you have read some of Mark Lawrence's books, that you know that sometimes his storytelling is unconventional. He doesn't just go from A to B. It doesn't work that way. He introduced, even using one perspective in The Broken Empire, he introduced multiple or several time frames. And he did that in King of Thorns. This kind of storytelling, the fragments and also the multiple time frames, is being done in Daughter of Crows as well. But I think, to put it simply, to end this, well, I think many of you who love Red Sister will end up loving The Daughter of Crows as well. It is incredible, and I cannot wait for all of you to read this book. Overall, I'm going to give this one, based on my first time reading through this book, a 4.5 out of 5 stars rating, which is a lot, because I remember back, especially if you have been following my reviews since my Goodreads days, my early Goodreads days, then you will know that initially I gave 4 stars to Red Sister on my first time reading, and then on my second read, I upgraded my rating to 5 stars because I don't know why, it just improved significantly on my second time reading. And then I believe this will happen to The Daughter of Crows as well. So until that day, I'm giving this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars rating. But please put this on your radar. It is possible to pre-order this book now, and I think you won't regret getting this one. Love this epic fantasy book from Mark Lawrence. And then finally, the last book that I finished is Half the World by Joe Abercrombie, the second book in the Shattered Sea trilogy. With this completed, I only have one more book from Joe Abercrombie that I haven't read, and then after that, I will be completely done with every book written by Joe Abercrombie. And the last book that I haven't finished, of course, is the third book in the Shattered Sea trilogy, which is Half a War. I will read that really soon. But Half the World, I think this is even better compared to the first book, Half a King. So in Half a King, we follow the tale of Yarvi, and we still get to see Yarvi in Half the World. He still plays a significant role in this book, in the second book of the Shattered Sea trilogy, but he's not the main POV character anymore. This time, we follow the tale of Thorn and also Bran. Thorn, Batu, and Bran. These two are the main characters of Half the World, and most of this book, it tells the story about a found family and also exploration and also war and revenge, of course. And at the same time, love as well. Love is actually a big driving factor, a big driving theme of Half the World. And I loved it. It's really enjoyable. I did not find this to be a YA story at all, but I really enjoyed this one. If you love a Viking exploration and also great battle sequence, as you can probably expect from Joe Abercrombie, I think you will really enjoy this. Seriously, I need to repeat this. I did not find this book to be YA at all. It is, of course, it feels like a tamer version of the First Law, and yeah, it does. It does feel like a tamer version, but I think all the core storytelling strength of Joe Abercrombie still remains just a bit tamer in this book and also in this trilogy so far anyway. I gave Half a King 4 stars, and I think I'm going to give this one a 4 stars as well, but I still enjoyed this more than Half a King. So yeah, great work from Mr. Abercrombie, again, the Lord Grimdark. I will be reading Half a War, and let's find out whether that will be the best of the series or not. But I do really enjoy the tale of Thorn, Bran, and also well, Father Yarvi now. Really enjoyed their story in this one, and it's really cool to see how much Yarvi has developed since his beginning in the Half a King. Let's just say that he has become someone completely different from his first appearance in Half a King. And finally, before I end this video, let's talk about some of the manga that I actually finished in the past 2 months. So I finished a lot of manga actually, a lot of manga volumes, but they are actually only 2 manga series. So the first one is Choujin X by Sui Ishida. And Sui Ishida is the author behind Tokyo Ghoul. And initially, when I was reading Choujin X, I struggled a lot through the beginning of this one. This did not start as strong as Tokyo Ghoul or Tokyo Ghoul Re. This one, the main character, initially all of them were a bit unlikable. The supporting characters were actually more tolerable compared to the main character at first anyway, but as we progress through the manga series, this has become what a dark tale. It is a dark tale again, and I loved it. I really loved it. I think Choujin X, it felt like superhero stories, a dark superhero stories, and it definitely retained some of Ishida's best strength as a mangaka, especially when it comes to the matter of putting vivid and also unforgettable panels and pages. Some of the illustrations, you will think that how did this actually happen? How did he drew this kind of moments and this kind of scenes and moments in this manga series? And then there's this one moment, action scenes between 2 of the main characters that happened. It was incredible. I basically finished it in one go. And finally, the last manga series that I started and finished, it was Kagurabachi. Yeah, Kagurabachi. This is a new manga series, and I have always been a fan of Katana and also, well, John Wick. And then this one, it initially started as a meme that it's going to become the greatest manga series of all time. And now that I have read like 100 chapters in the Kagurabachi, it might just happen. It might just happen actually. Not the greatest, but one of the greatest. It is a revenge tale, but the katana, the magic, katana, the sinuchi, and also the revenge story, the background of the characters, all of them were done really well. And the author, the mangaka, actually has the capability to create some of the best 2 pages spread that I have read. They are so cool. I'm going to put 1 or 2 of them in this video. But yeah, I love Kagurabachi. I think this and Gachi Akuta is actually some of the best ongoing manga series right now. So yeah, to wrap up this video, well, the best book of the month, of course, will have to be Shadows Upon Time by Christopher Ruocchio, and the best manga series, well, it will go to Kagurabachi. But that's pretty much it for me today. That's all the books that I managed to finish in the month of September and also October. Let me know which of these books that you have read and which one is your favorite books in the past 2 months. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.